Clinton, Illinois native Amanda Ham goes from party girl to single mom in just a few short years. But she makes the mistake of trusting a wolf in sheep's clothing.
She was intensely, deeply, head over heels in love with him.
And he sinks her into the depths from which she'll never surface.
She did not want to lose Maurice, so she chose him over the kids.
And later, in North Carolina, teenager April Barber has been dealt a difficult hand.
Having parents that were incarcerated for a large part of her life, she had to grow up extremely fast.
But when she's seduced by an older man, the two will stand by as her life goes up in flames.
She felt stifled. She felt as if, I can't have this happen. This is the end.
People will kill for love. People will die for love.
There are hundreds of thousands of women in prison at any given time in the U.S. These are the true stories of women who committed heinous crimes in the name of love. For my man. With her mom and dad out of the picture, her grandparents, Lily and Aaron Barber, step up to the plate and the doctor.
Aaron was 83, Lily was 77. It's difficult enough to keep up with your own child when you're younger. It had to be extremely taxable for the grandparents to keep up with their granddaughter.
But the Barbers have every intention of raising April as their own.
They went to church every Sunday. They instilled education for April.
It was a very strict environment, and I think the reason for that was the fact that they didn't want to see what happened to April's mother happen to her.
And April seems to be responding. Her name consistently graces the honor roll, and she even joins a summer job training program at her high school.
They already had gone through this situation with April's mother, who had April when she was a teenager. So they didn't want this to repeat itself.
When the youngster's nausea continues, her grandparents' suspicions come to the fore.
The Barbers are adults. They figured out that something was up with April, and they confronted her about the pregnancy. Of course, this did not go over well.
Now that her secret is out, April tells them she's having her baby. But her grandparents are having none of it.
They gave her an ultimatum. They told her either she had to abort the child, or they were going to have Clinton brought up on charges of statutory rape.
April's mama bear instinct kicks in when faced with two impossible choices.
The most important thing in her life was, how can I make this work? How can I save my baby? How can I
Flames
save my
travel
relationship?
through the house, setting everything in its path ablaze, including her cell phone.
Although this was a terrifying act, April's focus was on her baby and her man.
She takes the cordless telephone with her. She goes outside.
Lily is the first to smell the smoke. Aaron is quickly overcome by the fumes.
Once Lily realized that the house was on fire, she tried to get Aaron out, but she couldn't. She was 77, he's 83. It's not easy.
She crawls through the fire to the first floor bedroom, determined to escape and get help.
This had to be a nightmare for Lily. You can't help your elderly husband out. You have to leave.
After setting her grandparents' house ablaze with them in it, Wilkesboro, North Carolina pregnant teen April Barber is standing outside watching the drama. She's done the deed to stop Lily and Aaron Barber from meddling in her relationship with older boyfriend Clinton Johnson.
April's focus was on her baby and her man. That's all she was thinking about.
But Grandma Lily has managed to escape.
She saw neighbors around her grandmother who had escaped the fire.
The terrified woman cries for the loved ones she believes are still in the inferno.
Aaron's inside, my baby's inside, save them. That was her concern, despite the fact that she had second-degree burns on her body and had smoke inhalation.
April had to be thinking, what now? I think that would have been the most devastating thing, finding that Lily made it out alive and what was to come.
Grandma, I'm okay.
Just then, fire trucks arrive with sirens blaring.
When they went inside the house, they found Aaron face down, covered with blisters.
He had succumbed to the fire, unfortunately, before they could get him out.
Lily is placed in an ambulance and is rushed to the hospital. The distraction from the attempted rescue allows